DMV, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, ayy.
California, no place like California.
Fresh off a flight to Boston, got a BZ in Maryland that I pipe too often. Headed right to Austin, most likely flossing. Tight, exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons out in Colorado. Any given afternoon, you can catch a hollow. Honestly, it's the same out in Richmond, Virginia or California. Either state, you can get it. I done seen everywhere from Russia to Delaware. Trust me, I'm well aware. Barcelona to Bel Air, Petty to the Detroit. Don't tell him he saw how heavily he balls. Every project, every seashore. And I ain't content trying to see more. Nomadic, I probably wind up alone. All it takes is a melody to remind me of home. Now I've been in New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A, DMV, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
C-A, all day. C-A, D-M-V-M-I-A, all reminds me of C-A. Sean.
Call it, Babe Ruth ball it. Your boyfriend's got a cauliflower.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's the Texans going up against the Falcons. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call on this Week 3 matchup.
Thank you very much, Larry. You are looking live at the Georgia Dome here in downtown Atlanta. Today, it's Week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. Going to give this time to the tailback. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. The wide receivers, often a very, very talented group, and that's the case here.
And they don't mind showcasing it either. Those guys love to be flashy, love to make big plays out in the open field. They will attempt to do so in this game.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. It's complete to Fuller. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
That was not a completion that results in a highlight video. But at the same time, if you have those kind of completions all game long, eventually one of them might turn into a highlight.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Let's go. Looking to throw. And he connects with Ebron. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did.
And that linebacker group today could be very key.
As we were preparing for this game, you pointed out to me as we were watching film that the linebackers look like an elite unit. I agree with you totally. They move around, fly to the football, and take it away from offenses.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And that's the way to get things started the first time you touch the football on the road. And you have to believe all week long, all they've talked about is, okay, going into a hostile environment, we're the visiting team. How do we take control of this ball game early? That's one way right there. No fear, guys. And if they had any, it's probably gone after that run. That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. They'll rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. They go play action here on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. And the quarterback, he's got some big threats at wideout.
And they seem to get bigger all the time, don't they, Brandon? Every time I look out and watch a game, we're getting these bigger, more athletic, acrobatic receivers. We have some today.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a 1st and goal coming up here inside the 10-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we've got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us wanted to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit, taking over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
And here now come the Falcons. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see. And his first carry, he loses the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tough.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And this one is incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's third down. So a ways to go here on 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. And Boswell's kick is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So they had great field position, but a 3-play drive that actually goes backwards, and then they kick the field goal.
And I think the key sequence in there, the key phrase you just gave us, a 3-play drive. Had the momentum, great field position, unable to move the football.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over. Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now a play fake here on first down. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to take a shot. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Will Fuller high in the air to bring it in. And the Texans will add on to their lead. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
I've yet to meet a wide receiver who likes to block more than catching the football, but the best ones understand that that's how they'll actually get more passes thrown to them if they help in the run game. And anytime you get a run of that yardage, that means the wide receivers did help. They get down to what a lot of people call the second level, the linebackers, or the third level where the defensive backs are, and they get out in front and put their bodies out there and create more space for their runners to gain the yardage.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
When I see Sharif Floyd hit the field, I think of all the potential he has, and it's a lot of fun watching that come to the surface.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
All right, here we go. Detroit!
Looking to throw. And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find.
This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Texans will extend their lead. Whoa. He just yanked that one well to the left and no good. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Atlanta now coming out on the field. So the D-line's going to spread out. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 6 to start things out. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 3. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end.
And on 3rd and 3, they decided to go with a dime package. 6 DBs.
Yeah, you're right. They've got 6 out there. They just do get the play off as he'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And it's complete. Hooper. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
All right, here we go. No. Check. Patriots.
run it now out of the gun. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
While there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity map to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
Halfback sent in motion. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to let this one go deep. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And they have the football that will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
They come out here in the eye. They'll set up a throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But
they have pressure coming, and they got him once again. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So out come the Falcons now. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
All right, here we go. Here we go now.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Back to throw here. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to the back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
Hurry up, here we go. Green. 82 is mine. I got 82. Detroit! Gone!
And to give this time to the tailback. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see 2 tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit. Detroit. All right, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now they try the right side here. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave them with a long 4th and goal.
Okay, offense, you've gotten down close, but it's still just the second quarter. I say take the 3 points. Plenty of game left to play.
And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So out now comes the field goal unit for the Falcons. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is good. And that'll get the deficit back to 16. Well, at least they won't take a goose egg into intermission as they do carve out 3 points here in the waning moments of quarter number 2.
Yeah, it hasn't really been the greatest of first halves. They've looked out of sync, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But a field goal here at least gives them some momentum as we tick down toward halftime.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead. But a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
To throw now on 2nd and 10. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And where the ball is now, you got the field goal pretty much in the bag. Now do you try for the end zone a couple of times?
I don't think there's any question about it. You might get a gift of 6 points rather than the 3 that you just noted that you feel like you already have. Be aggressive. Go after.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Right. 6 yards to go here on 2nd down. They'll come out in the pistol.
All right, here we go.
They'll look to throw here. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6.
4 down, 4 down. All right, here we go. 3, 9. 49's the mic. Watch 49. Leopard. Leopard.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And with great field position here, chance for some points before the break.
That's prime real estate. Just have to decide how they want to try and take their shot to try and put those points on the board.
And his kick here is good. And that gets him back within 10. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
Not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though this offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points.
And he'll get it up past the 20. Now, my apologies, Larry. I wanted to hear the report. Somebody's in a hurry, so we're going to get him right to quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
Well, they held them to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Decent chunk of yardage still left here, 2nd and 7. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. 3rd down now following the run. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And looking at Houston defensively, they've got a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd. Now back to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. It'll go as a sack, a loss of 3, and in turn, it takes us to a 4th down. He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area. When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Set! Green, 39! Green!
Back to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third.
The screen was executed and completed, but where's the worry on the play? How many times is a quarterback going to get hit? Because offensive linemen have to do an acting job of making sure it looks like they're whiffing on blocks. But you got to slow them down a little bit, because if you don't, that's a lot of big guys coming at your quarterback in a big, fast way, and boy, he can get hurt.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Going to throw right side here. Complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield across the 45. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up the first down.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. 15 yards through the air and a first down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll set up to throw. Flushed out right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he is out of bounds, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. That one good for 12 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
This offense really put themselves in a tough spot on 1st and 2nd down, and needing long yardage to try and pick up a first down. And they ended up getting a great run. Explosive, picked up nice yardage. You don't expect to be in this situation on 4th down. But guess what? It all started with what happened on 1st and 2nd down. Really put them behind the 8 ball.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now out comes Houston. trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. To the right side to Eric Ebron. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7. The play clock's running down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Fielded at about the 28. Back now here on EA Sports. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Green, 39! Green, 39! Got three down, 3 down. I got this.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And now here is another interception. A great there he goes, right side. And they will score. A pick 6 for the Texans TD. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
That's fielded in the end zone. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Falcons. Their dangerous wide receiver, 104 yards. And the Falcons draw a bit closer. And that big fourth quarter return, Charles, makes this a one-score game.
And now it all comes down to philosophy. All right, they just had the big return for a touchdown, so the momentum is high. Do you want to ride that and go for 2? Or do you just go ahead and kick the extra point and come back and rely on your defense?
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a second down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Give to the fullback on the dive. Look at the big man rumble. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 57 yards on the ground. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Second down, and the offense in search of 6 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
So now at 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look. 6 DBs. Now back to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense. But when you add to it that you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the 4th quarter, got to feel pretty good as a defense.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. And they're definitely showing blitz here. And he motions the wide receiver. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Give him 8 on the play, and on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
And leading here late, so a chance for the defense to really close out this game if they can halt the offense. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll set up to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They come out here in the I. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and the decision to go for it pays off. They've got a 1st and goal.
Well, they won't get the touchdown, but they'll get the next best thing as they're able to convert on 4th down, and they'll be left with a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Defense, and yes, he's into the end zone, so they get the late score they needed, and now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. And he powers his way up past the 30. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now this time he'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Third down and 4. One receiver left, 3 to the right. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Detroit! Set! Speed 18!
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Over! Here we go! Green 39! Green 39! Detroit! Hot!
Back to throw again. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
Hurry up! Here we go! Over! Watching that body!
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And it's taken in at the 9. And here in overtime, if the team, it's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And now out comes Houston, set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now a first throw here in overtime. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
This is fielded at the 27. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Falcon football as they take possession. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to him, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done, now part 2. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Now, back in my old days, before college, I played a little bit of offense. I used to love to pitch the ball to my backs. How about that pitch right on that play?
Yeah, going right. People run to the right more than to the left, don't they, in real life and in video games.
That is true. A lot of offenses constructed to run to the right side of the line of scrimmage. Those big tackles, usually your power blockers.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 yards on the pickup, and that leads to an Atlanta first down.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Now a carry here for their fullback. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defensive coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This a 43-yard attempt. And he got